What's up, Dunzo?
How's it going?
Welcome to the Growth Zone podcast,
Thanks for having me.
where anything is possible. Right?
There we go, yeah.
Perfect. How you doing, you little girl?
Real good.
Good. You look nice today.
Thank you.
Yeah. You cool with just jumping right into this?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, cool. Gosh, Ryan, how long we been at this?
With me, going on 4 years.
Yeah.
How long have you been at this?
20.
There you go.
It's a long time to do something.
Yeah. Finally got around to getting the podcast going, so.
Yeah, exactly. So Ryan, I spent some time with putting these questions together that I wanted to ask you, and I waited the right amount of time. I'm huge on timing. I feel like people try to force too many things in life, and I feel like for me, I just wanted to be able to display the very unique stories that I have in my life, and you're definitely one of them. Just like to come really hot out of the gate. I mean, you're the guy that really is responsible for introducing JD Frost and I together, who is now my business partner. So I want to go on record saying thank you for that.
Of course.
My life has become much more, it's like for so many years, I look at this rhino, right? This rhino, it's a big animal, so it's hard to necessarily get it going, but once it gets going, it's hard to stop it too.
Right.
So JD's really helped me with the integration side of all of my ideas. And it's really crazy what's happened in my life, because now other people look at me and say, oh, that guy's nuts, or he's crazy, he's not gonna be able to do something. And now it's like, I truly believe in my mind that anything is possible. And with JD Frost, it's almost like he's like, let's make it happen.
Right.
And, you're the guy that introduced us. So we'll get into that a little bit. But I want to start off just asking you on record here of, how did you and I meet?
We met back in 2018, end of 2018. I was 7 months out of college, 22 years old. I was a commercial real estate broker downtown. And, one of the things that happened was I was standing on Michigan Avenue at a red light. You were parked at the red light in the electric blue Maserati, which you still have.
Yeah. I think I'll sell that.
I don't think you'll ever sell that one.
Right.
What's this guy do? Like, who is this guy? So you peel off, and I see your license plate says Croft on it. So I'm like, all right, he's got to own something. This Croft has to mean something, right? So I just Googled Croft Chicago. It popped up, your website that you just moved here from Minneapolis. Found your email online, sent you an email that day and told you exactly how weird it was, how I found your email. And I think you liked that.
I did like that. You know why? Because I left a really good life in Minnesota. I had a lot of great friends. I had, a really great life. And, one of the things I always talk about is there's no growth in the comfort zone, and there's no comfort in the growth zone. It took me 21 visits to Chicago. I'll say that again, 21 times visiting this city.
Good amount.
Yeah. And a lot of times saying I really like the vibe and the energy here, to actually pull the trigger and make that decision. And I'm like, I'm going to crush it here. So back to that. So that meant a lot to me, that people were starting to really accept me and notice me here and say, hey, I want to meet you, because I left a lot behind. And honestly, that was one of the frustrating things when I first started moving to Chicago, or when I was like going out and meeting people, really nice people, but they were making like, money's not everything, but like I'm in a financial business. So like I need to meet people that have a lot of money typically. Yeah. Again, money's not everything.
You grow your circle.
Yeah. And, people were doing pretty well around me. They were making like $120,000, $150,000, $160,000 a year. And I'm like, they were talking to me. I remember at the Boss Bar, they were like cheersing me with beer, and in Chicago. And they were like, hey, and they were talking to me a certain way. And I was like, in my brain, I'd be like, you would not be talking to me this way. I didn't say it to him because I was new.
Yeah.
I was thinking, I'm like, you would not be talking this way to me if you had a clue in your brain of the life I left to be here right now,
Right.
you wouldn't be addressing me this way.
Yeah.
But I had to start somewhere. So very quickly, I was able to elevate out of that. People don't think the same way in that space. So I was able to elevate of north of $600,000 of income quickly.
Yeah.
And then it just kept evolving. Now I typically spend a lot of my time with people, that are making, well north of 10 million a year. So, that's a big, jump in talking to people that are $150,000 versus 10 million.
Yeah.
They just think
So
differently.
different
They move
crowd,
quickly
yeah.
too.
Yep.
They're just thought process.
Yeah. So basically after I sent that email, we got lunch at Prime Provisions here in Chicago. And, I had the intention to go sell you real estate. I thought you were going to need some office space. But, after talking to you, we met Brandon that day and a client, Ram,
The Ram.
But basically I was just sitting there.
How nice is that guy, by the way? He's a beauty.
Yeah, and great guy. But,
He lives down in West Palm too right now.
yeah, he's down in Florida now, yeah, which is cool. But, so yeah, we met, we got talking, and, you were asking me if I've ever done this again, or done this before in the past. And I was like,
Yeah, because that was where I wanted to zero in on you. Is I loved it. I loved it. I actually talked to my dad about it. I'm like, hey, this young kid reached out to me. Because how old were you at that time?
I was 22.
22 years old. I'm like, Dad, that takes some balls to do that. And I'm like, and I waited 3 or 4 days, kind of like if you get a girl's number, you're supposed to wait a little bit. So I was like, I didn't net message you the next day. I made you wait for it a little bit.
Yeah.
And I remember I told my dad, I'm like, this guy has some balls. And I like that because it takes some courage in business to go far.
Right.
And I was like, gosh, I don't know if this is a fluke or not. So I asked you that, like, hey, is this a fluke?
Right.
Because the interview was going really well. And I just wanted to make sure that's like, this is a one-off or what? How'd you respond?
Yeah, no, I said I have done it before. How I got my last job, I didn't send out a resume or nothing. I was at a casino in Lake Tahoe and, saw this guy playing blackjack and, betting a lot of money. And I was like, all right, I got to meet that guy.
Do you think I look at resumes when I hire people?
No,
I think I ever have.
I don't think you even asked for mine. So, yeah.
Really?
No, I definitely never sent you a resume.
So I asked you to buy a $600 plane ticket, meet me in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Yep.
We're at another home.
Yep.
And why do you think I did that?
I've seen you do it to other people as well. You got to have some skin in the game. I know $600 isn't a crazy amount of money, but at the time it was. It's like I was on a draw. I was in the hole. So we did that. We met. I met the rest of the team. We went out that night and I told you I quit my job before you even hired me. Well, thankfully it worked out. But I mean, what did you say? I don't remember what you said.
I said, you quit your job already?
Oh yeah. I was like, yeah, so coming on. But at the time I had to kind of create my own role because you didn't have salespeople. You weren't paying salespeople. It was just a new thing at that time.
Yeah.
And it was cool to develop into that role, but it's also cool to, look at where we're at now. It's, how many sales reps do we have now? We got a lot of them.
Yeah.
So it was really cool to do that.
So when you first met me as a person, okay, what was I like? Was I, just describe it.
No, anyone that knows you, or doesn't know you, wants to know you.
Yeah.
You just based off how you dress, how you act, it's, people are attracted to you because they just want to know, who is this guy, right?
Right.
So when we met, it's not really what, because I didn't know anything. I haven't even filed a tax return.
Yeah.
It was my first year out of college. Like I've never done it. I didn't even know what you were talking about. But it's not what I saw, it's what I didn't see is why I wanted to come on. Because I wanted to see, I wanted to learn more and I wanted you to mentor me, which you did and you agreed to, and I asked for it.
Yeah. How much you think it would cost for someone today to get mentored by me?
I don't know. What's the number you have?
$1 million.
Yeah, there you go. What was it at the time?
Nothing.
Yeah. So I'm kind of the first case
Right.
here. And then Brandon obviously was hired as well.
But how old are you now, Ryan?
26.
So
we're going on 4 years.
Yeah. And how,
October.
what's your guaranteed pay with me? Give a range so no one knows exactly.
Around $250,000.
Okay. And what's possible as far as your earnings this year?
7 figures is possible for sure.
Yeah. You believe you can make 7 figures here?
Yeah. We have the vehicle, we have the tools, we have the network, we have everything. And that's what's cool is coming to work here is a lot of times people only see one thing.
Yeah.
Right. And then they kind of dive in and you don't know where that person's going to end up in a company, which is cool.
Yeah.
You kind of find out what they're good at versus just a regular company where, all right, you're hired to be an account manager and you're going to stay there. It's a lot different.
Let's go there where, I said that when I first was talking to you about gosh, I could go so many different places with this. That's why the thing I'm thinking about is I really want to go to the Croft and Frost thing. I mean, with you, you're really a huge part of that. Mm-hmm. And my question is more around okay, let's go there. Why did you think that I needed a business partner, or not even a business partner, but someone to do the work, or how did that all happen?
Yeah. So, I mean, when I got on, our operations at the time was based out of Minneapolis.
Right.
We stopped that and we just focused on Chicago. And I think at the time it was me, you, and Miriam at the time, and Brandon as well. I mean, anyone that knows you're not going to sit down and sit in front of a computer and file a tax return, right? I mean, it's kind of a scary time because I remember you asked me, you're like, should we still do this tax business?
Right.
Because you were focused on life insurance. And
do you know the number of how much money I collected from clients up front? Did I ever share that?
No, you never
how much
shared that.
money I had in the bank that I collected from clients and never doing the work? My comfort level was collecting $300,000. And once I got up to about 300,000 and we didn't have an ability to do that work.
We didn't have any back office.
Do you think I would have refunded those clients 100%?
Yeah, 100%.
100%.
1,000%, yeah.
But dude, I'm talking, I was rolling around in bed at night going, oh boy, I got 300K here and I need to deliver on the service that they signed up for.
Right.
And they have a contract with me too to do the work.
Because we didn't stop sales.
But how about that? And that I'm going to talk about my marriage with you a little bit. You're getting married this year. Congratulations. Your fiance was one of my first executive assistants. So we have a really special relationship.
Yep.
It's crazy. I watch her now and she's making a great 6-figure income now. And it's cool. She talks about how much I influenced. She's probably one of the only executive assistants. So, Ryan, did we work hard when we were in the WeWork office? How many hours a day was I working?
We were in the WeWork office from 7 a.m. to sometimes midnight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was going to say on average is about 17 and a half to 18-hour days.
Yep.
And, I was recently married, and that's why I brought up Ashley.
Right.
Because it's really important who you select as your partner in life. Actually, a lot of people message me. I have over 2.2 million followers now on Instagram.
Yeah.
A lot of people reach out to me and say, what's the best decision you've ever made in your life? And I don't answer a lot of people that message me on it. Not everyone I answer on Instagram. I mean, my publicist is involved in answering a lot of questions now too. But some people, about 5 times this year, I've answered some people that ask me that question. And I'll be like, boom, it's just like, boom. The person I decided to marry was the best decision in my life, period. Mm-hmm. So it's I met Ashley. I know Ashley. I'm super excited for your future and lives together. It's really special. You guys are going to do really well and have a really happy life. Why I say that is because Kirsty and I just want this to go on record is when we were first married, we had to, I'd come home to a greeting card, okay? Mm-hmm. And she would write out hey honey, I hope you had a good day and I love you and what, some of that stuff's private, right? But she would write me a greeting card and then when I got home, I would write her a greeting card and here we are married, but we're really communicating through greeting cards and we'd actually put them in a trapper keeper. I don't know if there's a better word selection, but a trapper keeper. And I believe we still have that binder trapper keeper today and it's really special for us. But Yeah, I mean, Ryan, you and I were YouTubing like how to do tax returns, and I remember that first day when we were using Ultra Tax at that time.
Yeah, at that time we were. Yep.
Yeah, and dude, I was in the zone, and I remember your hat was on backwards in the office,
Yeah.
and you might have had a lower end too at the time, but you were just like, you were looking at me with these eyes like, oh my gosh, it was like a Snickers commercial. Like,
Yeah.
not going anywhere for a while. It was horrible, right?
Worst thing.
I was like, hey, give me this client's like middle initial. So you'd be like John, and I'd be like, okay, what's his middle initial? And you'd be like, S, and I'd be like, okay, how do you spell Johnson? Is it with an E-N or an O-N?
Yeah.
Like, dude, this was like watching paint dry on a wall.
Yeah, it was real bad.
Yeah. To this day, I think it's one of my best business successes in my own mind that I was able to like do something that I absolutely am not good at, and I'm not designed to do, and I don't like to do, and I don't want to do, and I actually did it.
Right.
And I think that made me really special to be able to do that, to find the next guy that was going to work with me, because now I could show up and say, okay, do you file 1040s or do you do 1065s or 1120Ss?
Yep.
And I had the experience to know that a lot of people don't know that those are completely separate tax returns.
Right.
Like you can't, like a statement 1, for example, and a lot of people don't know how robust I am actually with taxes. I'm actually very sophisticated. Do you know I have 41 corporations?
I do know.
Yeah. You and I have one together.
Yep.
Rare capital, baby.
Yeah. So yeah, we were doing that in the WeWork, and clearly we weren't going to be able to do that at a high level. No way.
So you started doing what you do best, research. Ryan,
Yep.
that's one of your best gifts, and I'm really excited, especially in our energy company, to see that evolve as far as your research and just watching like what you can do. So do you want to say a little bit on how did you find JD Frost?
Instagram. That's kind of where everything's going.
So we have such a deep friendship and deep understanding of each other that you're basically like, I know Paul's rolling around at bed because I'm the one collecting the money from the clients.
Right.
Dude, JD Frost, I mean, I'm kind of jumping, but this is the way I communicate though. But JD Frost came to town, and I'm like, don't call that client that just got in your inbox, JD. And JD's like, I'm the man, because JD's that way sometimes. It's whatever. But I'm like, JD, he's like, what do you mean you don't want me to call him? I go, no, we're walking down Wacker, and I go, don't call that client. He's like, well, he wants to pay me like $3,000. I go, give him to Dunn, Ryan Dunn. He's like, what? He's like 24 years old. I go, trust me. He's like, all right, I'll give him. What'd you close that guy for? Do you remember that?
10 grand.
10 grand. I go, see, that's why you need to work with Ryan Dunn on that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but to go back how I met JD, he was in town with his family, just checking out Chicago, and I shot him a DM. I was like, hey, I'd love to meet you. We're looking for people to do our tax returns.
Yeah.
I don't know how many clients we were at the time, but I think it was around 100.
I think it was, around 95.
Yeah, like 95. And I was like, we need these done. Can you do them? And we met at a bar called Public House here. I kind of told him what we were doing. He was like blown away. One, the value we create, because he didn't have that process in place. That was a angle that you brought to the table for his firm at the time.
Yeah.
So basically we met, he flew back. I got a meeting on the books. I think you did a couple phone calls with him before he flew back here. And do you remember when we sent him a tax return to do? Because we were working with a couple other CPAs and it wasn't working, right?
Yeah.
We were waiting there for that email back.
Yeah.
And
I'd say
game on.
I was like, Ron, you got the tax return from a client of ours in California.
Yep.
And you go, Paul, the tax return just showed up. I go, I was like, we could make a movie of this. I was like, kind of like, if there was anything in my way, I would have been like, move it. Because I wanted to get to the screen.
Get to that email.
And when I opened up that email, remember how fast I looked at that tax return? Because the client had moved to Florida.
Yep.
And a lot of times there's a ruckus with like changing addresses when you're filing complicated tax returns. And this specific accountant that JD Frost was, it was either, I don't think JD filed the first one we did. I think it was one of his CPAs at the time.
Yeah, I believe.
Yeah, but I looked at it and there was already the change of address already in that. So like the quality of the work was exactly what I was looking for.
Yeah, it was just tenfold from what we were doing before.
And the record is JD thought I was full of shit.
Yep.
I mean, I'm okay on tape record saying he thought I was full of shit. He
Yeah,
thought I
it
was
is-
so full of shit that he was like, I'll let this guy pay me my average return of $3,300. I don't even think I took a discount. I said, JD, I just want you to do the tax returns. I'll pay you $3,300 a pop.
Yep.
You remember that?
Flat fee.
There's a flat fee.
Yeah.
So we did like 8 or 10 of them. And then he called me back because see, most accounting firms send an invoice and we collect the money up front, baby. So I had the money and then I just paid JD. So then JD called me. He's like, yo, like you told me you're charging 10 grand for these clients. Like, or he said, what did you say you're charging? I said, $10,000 up front.
Like 3 times with you.
He's like, I want to go into business with you
Yep.
because I see it now.
Yeah.
True story?
Yeah, true story. And, I think when we first met JD, because I think at our time, our goal was $10,000 a day in the business.
Dude.
But do you remember his goal?
Yeah, say it.
$2,000 of new business a day.
2,000 of new business a day. What are we doing today in new business a day?
I think the goal is 150,000 a day.
150,000 a day. So, dude, JD remember I'm living at Optima Signature, a nice place in Chicago. We go down to the amenities room and JD's taking free throw shots like this, like jump, nice form. Like I can't shoot baskets. So like, he's like, this form, I go, give me that ball. And I take the ball. I think this is a perfect representation. And his wife is there watching me like a hawk because JD's been burned before. And JD's a beautiful man.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, and JD, and I grabbed the ball and I fucking launched the ball down the whole court, almost like a full court. A full court shot. And I threw that ball so hard, it hit the rim, and then the ball hit the rim and like went to the ceiling. And he was just like, I think that was like a moment in our professional relationship that he was like, this guy is kind of wild, and I think he kind of liked that. Like he was taking these like nice free throw shots, and then he passed me the ball. I think we're playing pig or horse, and then so I decided to launch it.
Yeah. Pretty much how it is.
Yeah, exactly. I just remember him like he was like like he was laughing and I was like, it was just fun because I just believe in that. When you grow, you have to get uncomfortable.
Right.
So like it was like really cool seeing that.
Yeah, it was crazy. It's just crazy to see where the company's come, where it's at now compared to where it was then.
But you don't want to, once you get the company rolling, you don't want a guy like me running it day to day.
Right.
You want that pragmatic guy that's going to show up every day, be on time, systematic, disciplined, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to 250 million a year pretty quick.
Yeah.
So
That's how we met JD.
Dude, boom. Like seriously, like we're brothers now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. So, here's a good one. I'm like, dude, did you sign a $316,000 marketing deal through Rare Enterprises? Talk about that. And you knew the psychological thoughts I had in my head. Remember when I wore those Tom Ford sunglasses down by the river and I was walking a Voza, my dog, and then I let her off the leash and she ran in that puppy run, like boom, 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 real fast. And then my motor was like working because I wanted to be in the marketing game. Tell me.
Yeah, so you wanted to be in the marketing game. No one really understood why.
Yeah.
You were the only one. And, I understood why. It's a good vertical. Yeah. There's a lot of money in marketing, right? At the time, I was networking in Chicago, met this client. They're building this big company. They needed a website done. They needed taxes done. They needed everything that we serviced, right? But that was on a whole another scale. We didn't even have the pricing set up. And I was just like, all right, what can we get here?
Do you know I was golfing in Jamaica on a business trip? And you
were gone when I
didn't want those guys that I was golfing with to think that I was like arrogant or like rude.
Yeah.
There's guys that answer their phone on the golf course, and this was like a nice golf course. I was like, okay, you got to go quick. Like, tell me what's up.
Yeah.
And you're talking to a guy that's playing in the National Hockey League on the phone and brokering this big contract. And how big was it, the contract?
It was like a little over 300,000.
Yeah, I was like, Ryan, these guys have resources. They have attorneys. They have things.
Right, we can't mess up.
You can't mess up, man. You're going to take me out of business if you
Yeah.
mess this up. You're like, what do you say to me?
I was like, I got it.
How much was the wire that he sent the next week?
First one was for 50 grand.
You changed my life again because, like, now I'm in a new vertical,
Whole nother game.
a whole nother game
Yep.
where everyone said I couldn't do it. And that was what? A client number what?
2.
Number 2.
2 or 3.
I think it was 2.
2. Yeah. First one was 15 grand, and then second one was that. So it's just crazy.
Crazy.
Think about that.
Last question for this segment, or just what I'm thinking about is like, what's it like working with me? You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to explain. You know, I can't really explain my day-to-day to anyone.
Yeah.
In the beginning, I mean, we were working 12 hours every day minimum. Like, it was just nonstop. Like, we need to get sales. We were growing the company. We need sales, and that's all I focused on was just sales. And then I bring things like that to your attention. I'm like, all right, we got that. We got to go to the next one, right? So it's just very, I mean, you're in how many different cities now? Living situations, 3 or 4? 4. So now, at the time you just lived in Chicago.
Yeah.
So we were together every single day.
Yeah.
Working, going to meetings, then we're going out to bottle service to meet with clients. Then we're waking up at 7 a.m., breakfast, lunch, 2 lunches, 3 lunches.
Oh, yeah.
Like the worst. It was like, gosh. I get it.
So you remember that time I took you to Vegas and we went out and we saw Nelly?
Yeah.
Remember when he's like, that song is like the Air Force One, that song, remember that? And he was singing, there's that one like Down Down Baby or something.
All the classic ones.
Yeah, anyway, it was really cool. And then so we left there and we go to this other club.
Yeah.
And we're you tap me
Like
on your
3 a.m. at the time.
Yeah, and you're like, hey, that's Wiz Khalifa right there.
Yeah.
And he had that song. It was really hot at that time. I can't remember. It was something about peanut butter or something. Anyway, it was like crazy because we're right next to Wiz Khalifa. So we get out of the club, and what do I say to you?
Let's go to the next club. And I'm like, Jesus. I was like, I'm done. It's 3:30 in the morning. Like, we've been going all day. But that's when you get going.
But is that a representation of my work ethic?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I just don't stop, do I?
Right. No. So yeah, just to like go back into, you asked me about, your work, describe your work ethic and what it's like working with you.
Yeah.
A funny example I have is, remember that time we were out in Vegas at the
Which one?
the Nelly concert?
Oh,
It was our first time in Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
First trip.
Yeah.
And
We went hard.
we did go hard, and it was, we had bottle service at Nelly. It was a crazy night, but it's kind of funny to go off this, but basically what happened is it's 3:30 in the morning, and then what'd you want to do after? I'm like, all right, let's go home. I'm done. What'd you want to do after we left Nelly concert?
Well, we actually went to another place from my memory. The Nelly concert was at one place, one venue. Then we went to another venue.
Yeah, and
we were sitting right next to Wiz Khalifa.
Yeah.
And then in which I didn't even know who he was. You knew who he was.
Yeah.
And then you're like, hey, how old were you? You're like,
I was out in 23,
23.
something like that.
And then we left and we got out into the lobby and I was like, hey, let's go to the next place.
Yeah, it was like 3:30, 4 a.m. by that time, and I'm like, what are you talking about?
You're like, I'm going to bed.
Yeah. We did end up not going, I don't think. We actually went to the next nightclub, but so it's just, your work ethic's unmatched, to a lot of people. So
Right. Do you think I could work 24 hours in a day?
if it was possible, yeah, you could.
Yeah.
So why'd you want to hire me? What did you see in me?
I saw a lot in you. One thing I saw in you was an obvious thing is you're very tall. And I believe to really create a strong sales culture, you have to have leaders with tall, like they don't all have to be tall, but like I believe tall people have more command typically with people. So your height, how tall are you?
6'4".
6'4",
Yeah.
maybe 6'5". Okay.
Pushing it.
So like, that I thought would do really well in sales is that you could command a room or get some attention just based on your size. I loved how you were answering my questions. You were so different than me. And I'm like, I can really work with this because you explain things so precisely, accurately.
Right.
You know, recently I was sitting down with this guy from New York who I was introduced to him from one of my friends from Turkey. And this guy from New York's like, hey, I'm going to give you some advice. He goes, and this guy was in research. He couldn't even handle it wasn't like he was in investments, but he says, when you're going to pitch someone on this investment for your energy company, I want you to do it like this, like more in a format.
Right.
I looked at him, I blinked, like, remember those dolls that are like trolls that their like eyes blink and then they open?
Oh, yeah.
I went like this with my eyes, I open them, I go, I'm not changing for anybody. And he like didn't move. And I said, I got 2.2 million followers on Instagram. I've got CEOs that conduct themselves that way. I'm not changing. And he backed his chair up and he goes, I wouldn't change if I were you. I go,
Exactly.
why? Like, so the thing I saw with you is like, now this guy's going to help me explain things quicker.
Right.
He's going to be on point in his communication. And then I can be me.
Yeah. Well, you had the ability to give me or make me talk to people that you didn't want to talk to or no.
I would teach you things.
Right.
True story. I'd say, Ryan, this is like the RevProc in the IRS system.
Yeah.
This is how you got to do it. And I'd explain it to you. And then you were able to, I don't know if this is the right way to say it, but like dumb it down or make it more simple to understand.
Other people that wouldn't understand.
And then you just explained it, just like that guy from New York told me to explain something.
Right.
So I that's why I felt disrespect a little. I don't know if it's disrespect. Just I was like, nah, I don't need your comment because I had already been doing that for years with people.
Yeah.
So you're the first guy that you were a direct communicator and could effectively communicate something. So that's what I saw with you. The other thing is, if we found something, I'm always thinking, always evolving. If we found something that was really valuable,
right,
something of value, I'm a value guy, then we need to figure out who we're going to sell this to or who we're going to get it in front of.
Right.
I thought being a good researcher is a really good skill. And so you can find people, like in our energy company right now, you're talking to a guy in Israel right now that's the king of diamonds. How the hell do you get in touch with a guy like that?
Well, it's like anything, right? And kind of you can go back to JD. If you go back to getting into the energy space,
Yeah.
you know, my goal, you know, it's all right, this person can vibe with Paul, you know, let's get them all into a room and just see what happens, right? And a lot of times it didn't work. You know, a lot of times we're like, oh, I'm never talking to that guy again, right?
Oh, yeah.
But the 3 or 4 times, you know, it's worked out, you know, in a huge way for you. And it's just taking your business to the next level.
Yeah.
So really it's just about networking. You know, that's like the main thing in all this, and just seeing who can help who and kind of, you know, roll with each other to build this empire. So
that's what I saw in you, is just I saw somebody that the communication, the height, you're the only guy that I felt like, you know what I learned about you? You're a guy that lives in the unknown. I've had so many times in the unknown. A lot of people don't know how deep I am in my faith.
yeah.
But, you know, there's a song that I really connect with by Hillsong called, I think it's called Oceans, but it's called Walk Upon the Water. It's like, you know, where my feet may fail. And it's like, you can't do the things that I'm doing at the scale I'm doing them,
Right.
if you don't have faith and confidence that things are going to be okay. Like, because it's impossible.
So yeah, in a matter of letting go of things as well.
JD called me the other day. He goes, how do you do it? I said to him really clearly, I said, JD, the only way to get through this, what we're dealing with right now, is the way I did it was I gave the wheel to Jesus.
Yeah.
And he goes, what does that mean? Because he's a Christian as well. I said, well, let me tell you a story. And it's a longer story of this guy that I met that owns a winery. But I met this guy and I came home and it was more like, it's in line with what you're talking about, because, you know, about like, just like having the right connections. Yeah, it's important to network and have a lot of people.
Right.
But
The right connection.
The right connections. So like that one person can really change your life.
Yeah, and it goes back to you moving to Chicago. You know, it's getting around the right people.
Getting in the right rooms.
Right.
That's what it's about.
Right.
And like, I remember my bank account years ago had got down to about $59. And I changed my approach. So instead of me trying to sell people life insurance and just be so commission hungry and driven
Like everyone else.
like everyone else, I went into the deep. Like, I should do some studying of what, I'm sure it's about a heartache, but that song Adele sings called Rolling in the Deep. I don't know. I think it's I should probably do my own research, but I think like that could mean a lot of things for different people. Like when you're rolling in the deep, it's like the deep end or something. It's like a confusing time, and you
don't know.
You don't know.
You're in the unknown.
You're in the unknown again.
Yep.
And I think like for me, I met this guy, and at the time someone kind of challenged me like, well, did you get their name? I'm like, yeah, the guy's name is Matt. And they're like, dude, you have 87 Matts in your cell phone.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's his last name? And they're like pushing me like that. I'm like, I don't know. And they're like, well, how do you know you have a deal? I'm like, because I just know.
Yeah.
So the story went that the guy owned a winery in California, Carmel area. The person was always pushing me like, hey, did the Matt get in touch with you? Did Matt call you? And it went on for 3 weeks. And I'm like, no, he hasn't, but he's going to.
Yeah.
So the story is I was sitting at this place and I just got lit up with a smile because that Matt had reached out to me. I shouldn't say his last name. But I said to that person, I said, see, they reached out to me.
Yeah.
He wants to work with me. And that's when I knew and got confidence that I knew what I know, that this person and have confidence was really going to get in touch with me. And they did. And that proved my theory. And then I went on by buying a lot of wine from him. And I remember showing up to my parents' home and they're not big drinkers. But I gave my dad a bottle of like Cabernet Sauvignon or something for his birthday. And I'm like, it was just one of those things that I'm like, how is this even possible? That I went from having $59 in my checking account to now I'm giving my dad, I don't remember the cost of the wine for his birthday, but $100 bottle of wine and other things just for his birthday. And it just was like it was like a token in my brain that like, man, you just have to think so differently to get to where you may want to get.
Right. Exactly.
So
Say we just jump. I have another, question. Five-year permission to talk about your, decision making in JD. I think that's pretty interesting.
of course, yeah, go for it.
So it's kind of funny to see you guys work together. It's like when we first met JD, he's very like, all right, I need to know everything before I do anything.
Sorry, I almost choked.
Which it's changed now. JD's not like that anymore, in my opinion, but he is still more like that. Whereas you, it's just like fast. And it's so fast that people don't realize that you've actually put a lot of thought into it.
Right.
But you don't want to waste time on thinking of, is it a yes or a no? If it's a yes, all right, great. Now it's gotta work.
Right.
There's no, oh, I said yes, now, I'm coming back.
You know what that is?
Like
I'll
that.
tell you exactly what that is I heard this really wonderful speaker. His name was like a motivational speaker. His name was Tremendous Charlie Jones. And I watched it over and over and over again. And he's just a character. Like he's a wild man, but some of those guys are the best as far as the speakers. And he was like, so many people spend so much energy trying to make the right decision that they never make a decision. Other people just make a decision and then they spend that same amount of energy to make the decision that they made the right decision.
Right, exactly.
And that's the difference.
Perfectly said. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's kind of a good key factor. And it's good though too that you're in business with JD because if there is a decision to be made, and instead of making sure that's the right decision, maybe don't make that decision, because JD will come in and say, hey, maybe we shouldn't do that.
Different ball game than when you have things to lose.
Right.
Now we have things to lose. So you need a different decision maker thinking about things.
Yeah. So, all right, I'll flip the switch. And, what's your goal as far as earnings this year?
Like top line gross?
Yeah, gross.
All right. I'll blend it a little bit with both, business earnings from the business and personal earnings. But yeah, mine at the top this year is $160 million.
Wow. Quite the jump, huh?
Big jump. And the net earnings on that with a personal blend would be probably be about 77 to $78 million this year.
Okay.
That's a good net income.
So with that,
But let me tell you one thing on that. So JD Frost was walking in Las Vegas, of all places, with me on this red carpet in the Cosmopolitan Hotel. He looks at me and he goes, do you even have a goal? Like, is there even like a ceiling or what? Like, are you going to ever stop? I go, yeah, when I get to 61 million net. That was my number. Then I'll stop. It's fine. And this year, when that happens, let's say it's 78 million, that's more than 61 million. So I'm
probably not going to stop.
Oh, not going to stop.
Kind of goes into my next question.
Yeah.
I mean, with earnings like that, do you think you'll become a billionaire?
Yes.
And how long?
This year.
This year. Wow. Okay. So, I mean, one thing you always said to me since I've met you was, 200K is one of the hardest things to earn, in business. Now, clearly you're way above that, but why do you say that? Why do you think that is?
Well, for my own journey, I mean, my first year as a businessman or salesman at the time, back in 2003, I earned $96,000. And I mean, that's almost 20 years ago. But if you look at my kind of trajectory, it took me all the way until 2015 to earn $200,000.
It's a pretty big gap too.
Yeah. And I think the fact that you did it in year 2 just amazes me. And I just feel like I'm really working in my unique ability that God blessed me with, that I'm able to, takes me 13 years to get to $200,000 of earnings. And after I hit that $200,000 of earnings, oh my word, I think I made, within 3 years of that, I was well over $1 million. I think I was at 2.1 million. And then I went from 2.1 million to 10.5 million. And then I went from 10.5 million to 17.3 million. And then I just it's just easier. It's I don't know how to explain that to someone. It's just the facts. But man, it took all those years to get to 200,000. I think that's what I bring to the table is that now I can take a guy like you that has that same hunger as I have, and I create a vehicle that you can
go do that.
Just go do that.
Quick crush it
quickly.
Yeah.
We got a guide, true facts or non-facts here, true or untrue, that we have a guy at Croft and Frost right now that's probably going to generate in year 2 $700,000 of personal earnings.
Yeah, that's true.
It's crazy. I mean, if he goes on the street to get a job, I don't want to, he's going to watch this back and he's probably going to give me a jab. I'll give him a jab back. But he said, it's, he's probably, his value on the street's probably 150,000 at a corporate job.
Yeah, at a regular job.
Yeah, he's going to make 700,000 with JD and I. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Talk about this a little bit about your life insurance policies at age 23 years old. I think respectfully, if I told you to jump off a cliff, you probably would when I first started mentoring you. But the reality is those who are given much is expected of them.
Right.
So I'm not going to ask you to jump off a cliff. The only reason I'd ask you to jump off a cliff is if I was jumping off the cliff, and I'd probably jump off the cliff first, right? But we both have parachutes on
Yeah,
too.
parachutes. Yeah.
That'd be an epic. We should have the film crew there.
Well, base jumping the next one.
Yeah. Maybe out of like a hot air balloon someday.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine. So you're 23 years old. You just spent $600 on a flight to Minneapolis. And then I tell you to buy life insurance. How much do you put in your policy on a monthly basis? How much is the death benefit? And then do you contribute any of your growth to being challenged a little bit like that?
Yes. I mean, at the time, so I got 2 life insurance policies. First one, we were sitting in the airport and you would not let up on it. You're like, all right, sign up $800 a month. And I'm like, I didn't even make 10 grand in a month, 5 grand in a month yet. I made like $3,700 a month.
What's the most you've ever made in a month?
A month? About just under 60,000.
$60,000 in a month?
Yeah.
Dude, high five. That's
So it
huge.
changes, but yeah, so I got that policy and I can't even explain it to anyone. Anyone that asks, oh, you got life insurance? How much you got? And now it's at $1,500 a month and I'm still can't. I mean, you just try to sign me up for another one at $2 grand a month. So it's just like going to keep going. But no, I mean, just like jumping.
You know how much I'm paying for life insurance?
How much do you pay a month?
Like $52,000 a month.
Yeah, it's going to be, that's good. But yeah, right now I'm at $1,500. I think my policy, the death benefit's like 1.7 million.
Yeah.
But it's just crazy that once you start, you get pushed to do something, right? And now you get that payment. And it's, at the time I was like, God, like,
Stress.
it was like stressful because I would just subtract. I'm like, all right, I made 5 grand. I'm going to lose 800 now. Or
Then you start buying a nicer suit,
Right.
a nicer jacket, or a nicer wristwatch.
Yeah.
Because now you have to show up a certain way.
Right. And
Because
now I have to
you
forces
have to
you to
make
make
that
more money and puts you in the, in an uncomfortable spot for a little bit.
Yeah.
But now I don't even think about that. Like it's just there.
Isn't that
It's just,
insane?
it's crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I'm proud of you.
yeah, it's crazy. And anyone that has met you or knows you,
Yeah.
life insurance has been sold.
Yeah, it's probably true.
Yeah.
All right. So in closing, we're going to celebrate you in Vegas in, July?
June, July. Yep. End of July.
Yeah, buddy. What's happening?
Going on the bachelor party.
Dude, I probably shouldn't be going to bachelor parties at this time in my life, but my security guard's going to be there.
Yeah, he's going to be there.
My wife and I have a phenomenal relationship, and she, is cool with it as long as I, take it somewhat easy.
Yeah, 4 a.m. nightclubs.
Yeah. But, that's a bachelor party, but talk about like what's happening in September.
Getting married in September. So
You excited to say I do with Ashley?
yeah, September 3rd. It's a big day. So definitely excited.
What's next for you guys?
Not sure yet. No, not too sure. Still living in Chicago though. I know you want me to come down to Miami.
Yeah. Maybe part-time?
Part-time. Yeah.
Thanks for being in the Growth Zone, and thanks for being my guest on the Growth Zone.
Yeah, of course. Appreciate it.